Hi, and welcome back to another vlog brought to you by Colorworks. So last time I discussed how each first color type, adult, experiences the stress and strain of back to school a little bit differently. Early August can be super difficult for some adults, and it's really exciting for others. And we talked about how that's all based off of our first color and how we're hardwired. Well, guess what? Our kids are the exact same way. Some children at this time of the year are absolutely ecstatic to be headed back to school, and others are completely dragging their feet and dreading it. So let's jump into why that is and I'll give you a little bit of information about how each color type child experiences the dreaded back to school or exciting back to school time of the year. So I'll start off first with the golds. And I often start with the golds because they're pretty straightforward people, whether they're kids or adults. Golds, you often get what you see with them, even in the introverted version, because golds are all about structure and consistency, and they like things to have a plan and order to it. So naturally, this is gold kids' pretty favorite time of the year. Most of them, if they're still enjoying school, they love this time of the year. These are the kids that are well organized. They might have printed off their own school list so they know what they need to go purchase, or they have pestered you to give it to them so that they can look it over. They're the ones that like to go to the store with you and stand next to you and cross it off. They really debate about, do I need this supply or that supply? Well, I am older now, so maybe I should get the bigger box of crayons or markers. They might also be the ones that are telling you the rules about, no, I can only use this color pen and there's no need to buy that one because we're not allowed to use it anyway. So they're all about the rules and following the rules and falling into line. And so back to school usually is pretty exciting for our golds. Now, they're the ones that have their first day outfit picked out. They ran upstairs when you asked them to go through their clothes, and they took care of that because they knew that meant back to school shopping. Our golds are so organized and such prepared planners. They really enjoy this, even when they're young children. Now, how are you going to know if your gold is stressed at this time of year? Because all children experience stress from back to school. It just has a very different face based on where the stress is coming from. So I tell parents who are raising young golds, look for bossiness. That is the gold's go-to stress signal. They often become bossy, demanding, and controlling, especially of their siblings or their friends, or sometimes even you guys as their parents. Their bossiness and need to control things is their way of saying, I'm stressed out and I'm suffering from some stress and anxiety, and I don't know how to address it, and so what I'm gonna do is try to take control like a little herding dog of everybody that's in my presence, and that includes you, Mom and Dad. So our golds will exhibit stress at this time of the year in the form of bossiness. Sometimes it can be demanding behaviors. It's usually demanding of siblings or children, friends that are younger than them. Or it can be controlling type behaviors where they try to get everything organized even though you maybe aren't ready to or you're busy doing other things. So I tell parents of golds, this is coming from the whole transition. Golds do not like change. Even if they know change is the right thing to be happening, if it's appropriate, age appropriate, even if it's really exciting change, maybe they're stepping up from an elementary school to a junior high or junior high to high school, they still are excited about it, but they're going to experience anxiety about it because change equals the unknown. And for golds, they need the unknown to fill in the pieces of their structure system. So you're going to see your young golds become stressed at this time of the year because they don't know what to expect. Now, if you have one that already knows who their teacher's going to be, maybe they're in one of those classes where they just level up with the same teacher and the same students, you'll notice your gold is a little less stressed. But if you have a gold making a big transition, say from one level of school to another, like I said earlier, moving from junior high to high school, you're going to notice a lot more stress. Or perhaps they're starting some new activity at this level of school. Maybe they're going to pick up playing an instrument. Maybe they just made it into a show choir. Maybe they're contemplating and are serious about trying out for a sport that they've wanted to but have been hesitant about. So any large change like that is going to just really compound that level of anxiety for your golds. So that's the problem. What's the solution? The solution is one of our 4 talks that we teach here at Colorworks, one of our 4 skill talks, and it's going to be called Counselor Talk. And the reason I tell parents to jump to Counselor Talk with their golds is because golds in general are such well-behaved children. You very rarely have to get on them like you do some of the other color combinations. First color golds pretty much want to do the right thing and make you proud, and they really strive for it. So when you see them acting bossy, demanding, pushy, it often throws parents off and they're kind of like, whoa, what's going on with you all of a sudden? Well, I can guarantee you 99% of the time, the root is found in fear and anxiety, and that fear and anxiety stems from their inability to handle transition, changes, and the unknown of something new. That's where all of their stress generally comes from when they're young, especially under the age of about 16. So when you're dealing with a stressed out gold, I always advocate counselor talk. Counselor talk is our skill talk that opens up the lines of communication and builds trust. I tell parents the hardest color type child to build trust with is going to be your first color golds. Golds have their trust blown all the time because they equate trust to expectations and structure. Well, guess what? Things don't always go your way when you're little. So something that you were planning on that knew it was going to happen, grandma was definitely coming, she was going to stay for a week. What? She's not coming now? What do you mean? We're going to the zoo this afternoon. We're absolutely going. What do you mean we can't go because it's raining? So golds, from the time they're little, they start equating trust and expectations to be kind of the same thing. And so when their expectations are blown, their trust is blown. Therefore, they're a very difficult color type to build trust with. So when I say to use counselor talk, I'm very purposefully choosing that one out of the 4 skill talks because not only does it get to the root of the anxiety problem that your gold is suffering from, and when you get to the root of it, you can help to train them to find their own anxiety triggers and to kind of get themselves out of that anxious feeling. But it also builds trust with them. And when you put those 2 pieces together, teaching them about their triggers, telling them how to take care of them, and giving them that counselor talk to build trust, you make this magical equation with your gold where they start to trust you on the deepest level possible because they get that you get them. You get what makes them nervous. You get what makes them anxious. Everybody else thinks they're a good boy or a good girl, but you get that deep down they are nervous or they are fearful when nobody else sees it. Everybody else thinks they're just doing great and they have everything under control, but you, mom or dad, you get them. And that's why I say with our golds, be sure to use that counselor talk with them to build the trust and help them to identify what their real hidden anxiety triggers are because they're there. So I hope this was helpful for you. That was a little tidbit on our golds at the beginning of the year. If you have any more questions or want to learn more about counselor talk, you can follow the link below and click on it, or you can always go to colorworksgroup.com and that will lead you in the direction to teach you everything you need to know about counselor talk and whether or not your child is a first color gold. Have a great start of school and good luck with your golds.